now that we've removed that bracket, the plate, these 3 screws, this whole piece really just literally slides right off like that.
Wow. That's your Bluetooth right there.
Yep. For your wireless controller system. See, but you cannot take the motherboard out unless you take this out, because it literally sockets in right here
to
the metal frame. So if you try to lift the motherboard out, you're going to break things and damage things. So
yeah.
You have to take this out first.
Okay.
Now that we have that out, before we remove heat sinks or anything else like that, the rest of the screws, because if you notice on the Xbox, some of the screws are really long, like this.
Yeah.
And some of the screws are very, very short, like that one.
Okay.
This is what's holding motherboard. This is what's holding the other top of the Xbox, where you can even remove the plastic casing from the Xbox to even get to the internal.
Oh, okay.
So now
Gotcha. Here, I'll help you.
we'll go through the different torque sets. The big one is for these. Once we get all these out, we'll actually be able to lift them up, but you have to lift the motherboard out of this frame in a very specific order. If you actually notice on the X clamps, there's 4 more black screws on each one, so a total of 8 black screws that are a smaller torque security bit than what we're using right now. And if you do not remove those, you will not be able to remove the motherboard from the main chassis, which is what we need to get to.
Right. So we can take them out and start cleaning them.
Yep.
And we have to do it right. If you don't do it right, you fry the whole motherboard.
Yeah.
Am I correct?
You do a lot of. You do more bad than good.
Yep. So you always have to be planted on the ground when you're touching these things.
You have to have a anti-static wristband, or make sure you touch yourself to ground. Don't work on carpet or couches like we're doing now, but I've done enough of these to.
Yeah, because there's a lot of static in couches and carpet.
Yeah.
Yeah. All of a sudden I got a burst of energy. See how long that lasts. Sorry, yawning. Got a burst of energy and start yawning.
You want to be my next science experiment? I give you a lot of energy.
Yeah. Yeah, I do, man. I'm trying to sign up. I told him if he fries my brain, he's got to rebuild it with the quantum computer.
You're going to be bigger than this room.
Well, that's great. Well, you're going to have to upgrade it to a chip the size this big. Implant it in my brain. I'll be the first quantum human.
So one of the best ways that I found, because if you actually look, you have these little tabs, and these tabs can actually, right here, be removed. So we want to remove these little tabs.
This is really brain stimulating.
Then grab the motherboard from these positions.
Look at this. This is alien technology. You're telling me an Xbox 360 came out of the Roswell UFO?
There you go. So
This
now
whole
you have your
time.
X-clamps, and you can actually see these 4 chips right here. Those are actually thermal pads. These are the
Whoa.
RAM. You have a total of 8 RAM. You have 4 on the bottom.
That's the grid, the matrix.
You have 4 on top. You see 2 here, but there's actually more under here. And they didn't have room, so instead of doing this, literally what this does is transfers heat from those little teeny little black chips. See, underneath? Transfers the heat from those little black chips to this whole board, which acts like a heat sink. But they don't heat sink the top ones because they never had room to, so when an Xbox gets a red ring of death, it's important why you get a secondary error code, because it can, it's most times going to be GPU related, or Southbridge or HANA chip. Not really CPU related, but it could be CPU, especially when they're completely clogged with dust like that and the thermal paste is totally crap. But most of the time, these RAM chips, Northbridge, Southbridge, and HANA chip, aren't heat synced properly, so they get hot. So they come desoldered from the board, which is going to give you a ring of death. Which if you actually press the eject button, power button at the same time, you can get a secondary error code, and you do it 4 times, and it gives you a 4-digit error code, and that can kind of give you an idea of where the problem relies on the circuit board.
Wow. I did not know that.
So now this is the scary part right here. Now that we have this board out, we have the X clamps, which this is a whole nother ordeal I'm not even going to get into, because these acts like leaf springs. They put a lot of tension on the board, which is actually putting an unnatural pressure on the board, which is bowing it and bending it.
Yeah.
And since they used lead-free solder and they built these very, very fast,
yeah,
just us even taking these off could crack a lead solder joint. So even though it's working now,
yeah,
you can put it back together perfectly fine, not do one thing wrong, and it still get a red ring of death. Because the proper way to really do this is, after doing everything we do, is to literally call it BGA. You take the chip and reball it. So you put it under a reflow station, pull the chip off, clean it, get a die, put the chip in a die, reball it with lead-based solder, put it back on, flow it to the right temperature, which takes time because this is a fiberglass board, so there's moisture in the board. If you don't heat it up the right temperature, you get it too hot too fast, or you let it cool down too fast too soon, you're going to warp the board and crack solder joints or pull pads off the board, and then it's completely ruined forever after that. Like, there is no fixing it. It's done.
I think Xbox should hire you. I think you just solved their problem with the Xbox.
This is their problem.
You're telling... You have... Like, so basically they do that, so basically it'll break down, so you'll buy another one.
Pretty much like everything, yeah, they do. But at the same time, it was just because production came out so fast, so soon, that they didn't really have...
Yeah.
Honestly, to be completely honest with you, like, me taking apart Xboxes, I've seen ones that have never been open, and I know that for certain reasons. Like, this one right here, like, you can actually see this yellow, or this aluminum tape right here.
Yeah.
Is normally ripped or broken, or you have another Microsoft seal right here.
Okay.
And then other...
That's how you can tell it's been opened before?
Yeah. And I've opened ones that I knew for a fact
So this is the first time this one's been opened.
And they were hacked. Like, it was a newer board with older heat sinks,
yeah,
different motherboards, because, dude, there is, like, 4 or 5 different variations of motherboards. Yeah, capacitors are different, inductors are different.
So, places have done this?
They're like Harley Davidson. Like, at the end of their call, like, they literally used whatever they had to complete a unit.
Wow.
So, I've seen split hacked circuit boards, dude, where it's just, like...
They sell them for the same price?
Exactly. New analytical boards.
Wow.
Dude. No shit.
What is going on in America?
Yeah.
Dude, this guy just told me his secret about Xbox.